What's up, Dance Fam? We are back once again for, what is this called? The session.
Yes, this is the session. Welcome back, guys.
Yeah, episode 30-something around there. We're back. We've been on break because, we didn't have a lot. We had a lot going on because of the holidays.
Oh, yeah, we did.
And
sure
then
did.
Other stuff, work, school, etc. Big events happening in our lives. If you haven't watched us since last time we did World of Dance, you may notice someone is missing. That person being Justin Cortez.
Oh, that's why.
Right. Yeah. Remember him?
No.
Oh. Anyway, well, he was on. He moved to LA, him and his fiance.
Yep.
Jess. So shout out to them. Hope they're doing well. And last we heard from last night, I guess.
Yeah, last night. He's doing fine. Yeah. I talked to him. So, yeah, he's just settling in. They're good.
And if this, if World of Dance carries on until whenever, it'll last long.
It's going to be a while.
He'll be back on the show.
Oh, my goodness.
I think he's going to visit. So
we're going to unpack this today.
Yeah, he'll be back on. But in the meantime, for this first episode of World of Dance Season 3, we just wanted to keep it kind of as a conversation between the two of us before we bring anybody else on. Next week, we'll definitely have somebody else on too, so you don't get tired of our voices and faces.
Yeah.
So speaking of voices, don't forget that our main format for this is a podcast. So if you have Spotify, iTunes, Google, whatever, I think we should be on all of those podcast things, avenues.
You'll find us. Just search DanceFamtv, the session. You'll
find it.
Yeah, we're right there.
Yep.
We're not going anywhere.
Episodes released at the same time as the YouTube does. So check us out. In case anyone has forgotten us, I'm your host, Russ Santos, aka Lock and Robin. I'm here every day doing this thing unless I'm not. And then, of course, we have Eser Valencia with us. What's up, man?
Where am I?
It's been a long time.
I know. Shouldn't have left you.
Left you without doing
me to step two. Hey guys, what's up?
Step two.
So, we're here, and I'm back too. So we're gonna talk about stuff.
World of Dance back. It's back. It's back sooner than we expected.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
It is back. Also, you may have noticed if you're watching us on YouTube, we're doing a single camera format right now. Because there's only two of us, we figure there's no need to do the whole switching of things. So, whatever. Anyway, let's get into this because this was a long episode. Oh, boy. I wasn't expecting it to be a long episode.
Me neither.
And I didn't realize how long it was until like halfway through.
Yeah.
But let's get into some changes so far. Yeah. Or changes from the get-go. First of all, one of the things that hurt me the most is that Jen Dewan is no longer on this show as a host.
We miss you, Jenna.
I miss her so much.
I miss her too.
Not only did she look phenomenal, but she's like an amazing dancer as well.
Yeah.
So that kind of blows.
And they got a new host.
Yeah,
which
Scott
was
Evans.
Barely there.
I was going to bring it up. But yeah, Scott Evans. He has no dance background, but he has hosting backgrounds. Mm-hmm. I think he was on Access Live, stuff like that, and a bunch of other things. But he is definitely not like a dance person per se.
Not at all.
Which may have to do with why he was not on the show this episode. He was on to introduce or like say hi.
Yeah,
and then
just introduce himself.
And then that was it for 2 hours. He was gone.
I was like, okay. You're there, and will you do anything different than Jenna was? No, you didn't.
Yeah, she did more. She talked to people backstage.
Yeah, she did.
You know?
At least.
How come he didn't talk to anybody?
Seriously, when the show opened up, I was thinking it was just like, oh, okay. I guess they adjusted to not having Jenna. And then when they finally got through all the judges after like maybe 15 minutes, I was like, oh, I guess they're not going to have a host. And you're a host. Oh, wait, I spoke too soon.
There you go. Yeah. Speaking of entrances, one thing I was super happy about, it's so dumb, but like I was really happy that when the judges came out, they came out all together.
Yeah.
And not like, the first two.
I know.
And then, and Jennifer Lopez. And she comes out all grand in like her quinceañera like gown and stuff.
Not the quinceañera.
You know what I'm talking about. But like, no, like they came out as equals. Finally, like they are a group, all the same judge. Mm-hmm. No one is more than the other at that point.
Absolutely.
Albeit she is a producer. but whatever.
Yeah.
So that was something I was like, oh, good touch, nice touch there. And surprisingly, overall, I wasn't as annoyed by J-Lo.
No, I wasn't either. I was expecting some really bad things from her.
Yeah, and actually, I agreed with her on a lot of things,
which was surprising.
Yeah, but we'll get into it. All right, let's jump into it.
Yeah.
First performers, the Kings.
Ooh.
Right off the bat. Okay,
Yeah.
they're from India.
Yeah.
They're Bollywood fusion.
Yeah.
They did this last year. They started off
Yeah,
with
they did.
another Bollywood team.
I know.
The Desi Hoppers.
Yeah,
Not last year. Well, last year.
season. It was definitely
Yeah.
last year.
Yeah.
I'm definitely rooting for this one this time. Like these guys were. Oh, okay. You finish. I'll get into it.
That was it. That's all I wanted to say. That was like, wow, they're really gonna do it again. They're gonna start it off with a Bollywood. I got nothing against Bollywood. I was
right.
It's just like
It was just an interesting coincidence.
I guess. Yeah.
Yeah. They opened up with that.
Good. What'd you think?
But yeah, maybe it definitely could have been like editing. You know, sometimes they mix up the order when they're editing the performances. But yeah, it was actually a great thing to watch, and I was really happy with it. Like, I haven't seen something so original with them in a while. Like with
Bollywood.
Yeah, Bollywood as well as like this group. Like they were just refreshing. Like I believe it was Derek that said the same thing. It was like these guys were refreshing, and oh my gosh, like there was definitely that one specific moment in their set,
like the stair climbing.
In
midair.
I have never seen
I've
that
never
before.
seen that either. That was pretty awesome.
Holy yeah.
Easy.
I'm gonna hold myself back from that word, but like, dude, I was just like, what the heck?
That was crazy. That's some Super Smash Brothers
Oh,
kind of stuff.
Absolutely.
Hopping off of
I know. That was just some rude stuff right there.
Yeah, that was the best part for me. That from them.
Mm-hmm.
I actually I wasn't as impressed with them. Besides that part, obviously, because they were all tricks for the most part.
No, I agree with that. That's what I noticed.
And actually, a lot of the not a lot of the cleanliness. A lot of times, I noticed that they sacrificed a lot of the cleanliness to set up for the next trick. Like they would kind of shorten some moves or not pay each move their full time before getting to the next part or transitioning into the next big trick. And then for a while it was just trick after trick after trick, and I'm just like, I hope you guys have stuff left for like the other ones, for the other performances you have to do. But yeah, that was it for me. Anything else?
I just felt like it was just a lot of power they had. Like I was really grateful for the energy they were giving for an opening performance, but at the same time I was like, okay, I need a little more intricacies because the movement was definitely way too simple, Oh,
and then the last pose,
right?
When
Definitely the last pose was like, oh my gosh,
to the shoulder thing.
It's like, good job. That musicality was right there.
Yeah, it was good.
But I'm looking forward to more intricate things, and yeah, that's just what I wanted to see. But yeah, movements were really too simple, but the tricks were so good.
Yes,
so good.
I agree. One thing that we forgot to mention that's different this year is that you now need an 85 to get past qualifiers.
That's right.
And I remember we talked about this. Maybe they listened to us.
Oh my gosh.
You guys listening?
Thank you.
But I remember, like we said, we need to bump it up. They need to bump it up because everyone was getting through.
They were.
Yeah.
It was, and then probably that made it longer.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So I gave them an 86.
I gave them a 93.
Wow.
I enjoyed it very much.
I was okay with it. But you know what? I might be desensitized because of watching all of last season.
No, you're right.
And now getting to it. Maybe I have a higher standard now. Maybe I don't. Maybe it's the same standard. I hope it's the same standard. But regardless, I gave him an 86. But the judges gave him a 97.7, which is super high.
That was pretty high for the first performance.
I definitely didn't think it was that like a 97 worthy. But anyways, anything else about them before I move on?
I'm good.
Cool.
That's all there is.
Erica and Aidan. So Aidan came back from last season.
Yeah.
He was on Poriotics. They're from LA, an urban contemporary partner duo.
They're duo.
One thing I noticed with them was that the beginning wasn't all together, and then Derek eventually said it during his remarks. And a lot of times after that, it didn't seem all there, I guess. It kind of looked like Well, it didn't look like they had very good chemistry. You know, like comparing them to like Sean and Casey from last year. You know, their chemistry was on point, or even second place winners. I forget what their names were.
Uh-oh.
Oh
well.
Anyway, but
you guys can look it up later.
Yeah. So altogether, they weren't that together as a unit. It kind of looked, I don't know, kind of sloppy actually. Well, not necessarily sloppy, but just it didn't seem believable as a pair. And you know, everything else just seemed kind of mediocre at best. That's what one thing I did like was all the threading that they were doing with, you know, her leg going one way and him going
and
through
the other way. Right.
So that was good. What'd you think?
Right. I was just gonna continue on with the out of sync like chemistry that they have with one another. I mean, they were only partners preparing for this qualifier round for like what, 6 months,
maybe
less,
right?
Yeah, that, and it was literally like she just hit him up on social media. I was just like, oh, it's one of those kind of like partnerships that happen. But like, nothing against it, but like sometimes, you know, like you already know, like if it's gonna be that short amount of time, like they have to really consider like, is it worth it, or like can we really pull it together with that?
Exactly.
Like how hard do you need to work for that short amount of time just to make it through the first round, you know? Like, but hey, sometimes that's just how it is. Like you got to work under that pressure.
Yeah. So that's it about actually, and then JLo mentioned the chemistry issue there.
Yeah.
And I was agreeing with her. I was like, is this happening? I'm agreeing with JLo.
I think she's been studying too.
Maybe. Yeah, she still thinks pop and lock is a breaking term.
Oh, God, why that term?
Anyway, I gave him a 83, sorry.
I gave them an 84.
Okay, so we both had them in the same range, not making it through.
Yeah.
But they get like a 84 point something, 7.
84.7.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, they started with Derek and then went to JLo and then like, oh, Neo. Okay, he brought down the average.
Good old Neo. I agree with Neo.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Neo, you know something that we don't.
JLo and Derek were like, let's just give them another chance.
Yeah, let's see what they got.
Yeah. All right, let's move on.
All right.
Funkanometry.
From Canada.
Yeah, Vancouver. And like right from the get-go, I'm like, man, Funkanometry, there's another team or company that already has that name.
Yeah, in the Bay Area?
Yeah, there's two. So same company, but different teams, I guess. San Francisco and New York.
Actually,
I'm not sure if New York is still a thing. I know they've been going in and out in terms of whether they exist or not.
Right. I haven't heard anything from New York in a long time, but I know definitely, but in the Bay Area is out there too.
Yeah, they're still doing stuff. But yeah, I was like, Funkanometry. I've also heard it more than once besides those two teams.
Yeah,
so they need to like, I don't know, copyright or trademark their name.
That's
or
true.
Something.
I was like, wow, this thing is just spreading everywhere.
But anyway, there's these two good kids, 16 and 15. One's tall, one's short. And they are the most Canadian boys that I've seen.
The most Canadian, eh?
But like, so before they even like went on stage, I was not expecting them to do well, like at all. And that was just me judging them based on how they were acting. And like just speaking and stuff.
Okay, like, I'll give it that. You know, like
this is terrible what I'm doing, but I don't think they're gonna go far. And like, don't get me wrong, I do realize that you should not judge someone based on how they look.
Yeah,
especially in the dance industry or dance world. Yeah, for that matter.
Absolutely.
But I just couldn't help it. I was like, no, I don't think they're gonna do
man.
well.
Like, you know, some of my coworkers before I started my job there, they were just like, oh, I didn't know Eser could do those things.
There you go. See, and then they came on, and then the song came on, "Shake Your Pants."
Oh my gosh!
And I was like, dude, this is my song.
Yeah, I was just jamming with it. I was like, yes, for this song selection.
And you know, man, they were funky.
They sure were.
I did not expect it. I was so surprised.
It was a white boy can jump moment, you know.
And man, they had a lot of character.
Yeah, absolutely.
I wasn't expecting them. They were popping for the most part.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Their hits are good, but one thing I will say is that their hits are good when it's back to back, like the fast hits, the da 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 da. But when it comes to like the single hits, like the ba ba ba, it doesn't. The technique isn't all there. It kind of looks like they're just shaking their body when that's not really what hitting is. So when it is faster, it is passable in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
At that point, I don't know. I was just really impressed because since I know we've listened to the song countless times.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And we know a lot of the nuances of the song, and they were hitting a lot of the parts that you normally just do not listen to. So props to them. Their musicality was great in that aspect.
Good job, boys. If you're actually listening to this, also. But
what'd you think?
yeah,
Anything
no,
else?
everything you hit, as well as like, I was just glad to see. Okay, sorry, but I was just really glad to see this kind of, fun routine. Like everything up to this moment, like even in the last season, it was just a lot of serious, like great performances. But this one's just like overall, wow, they ripped it and they were having fun.
Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
That's an element that's really important when you're on stage. Is like, are you having fun with it? Like, yes, we get it's a competition, but taking it so seriously sometimes is not really the way to go. So like these boys are just living their lives, just being clowns on stage, like giving it all they got, and like had everybody engaged. Like, what are they gonna do next? So I was very good with what they got going. So
yeah, one thing I want them to improve on is just clean up their hits.
Oh, absolutely.
Fix that a little bit, and then work on being a little bit cleaner.
Right. So yeah, because in the future maybe we'll see like if they do something a little more slower paced. That will be the real test of a popper, It's really about taking their time, getting those hits right on the money, you know.
In the pocket, baby.
Yeah, that pocket's always serious.
So I gave them an 87.
Gave them a 90.
Nice. And they actually got an 87.3, so they'll be going through to the duels.
Oh, yeah. They're going to battle.
Neo said that it was a little simple.
Oh, yeah. I remember that comment.
And he's not all wrong. Like, it was a little simple, but a lot of times he was, what they're doing, there's a lot more depth to what they're actually doing.
Yeah.
And, I appreciate what they were doing. But let's move on to the Crazy Eights.
Crazy Eights.
Have you heard this name before, or am I just thinking?
Is it like a brand or like a?
I can't see. I keep like when I heard the name, I was just like, I've heard this before. I'm not sure where. Am I thinking Kill Bill?
Maybe so. I think it's Kill Bill, like the Crazy Eights.
That might be it. But they're a group of little girls, contemporary, from
adorable little girls,
California. One of the girls is selectively mute, meaning she's super anxious and can't really talk.
Yeah.
But she can talk. She's just only with people she's really comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right when I heard that, I was like, I swear, if they try to make her talk to these judges, I'm gonna hit somebody.
I was like, please don't force her to talk.
Which they didn't. So thank goodness.
I was really glad about that.
Eser, what'd you think about them?
Wow. I was just really impressed overall that they smashed their routine. Like I wasn't. Cause I don't know, like when I see kids on stage sometimes, like especially like at this caliber of a competition, it could be anything, and they were just really clean, and executing everything so on point. Like these are young kids, right? I was just questioning. I was like, these are young kids, and they're so disciplined at their craft.
Yeah.
And then the young girl that was that has the condition, I was like, wow, this realm of dance just really does it for people, that really can express themselves without really verbally communicating. It was just really, I was just really happy about it.
Speaking volumes with their art. It was awesome.
It was so awesome. Like I couldn't just fathom the thought, like these are still children and they're like at an adult level, like of competition, It's like crazy. Like, I got to watch out for these kids, man. This upcoming generation is just so different now.
No, you're right. Kids are starting younger. They're getting better faster.
Jeez. And I don't know. Did they say like they've been dancing since they were like born or something?
Pretty much. Something like that. Like, yeah, we've been dancing for like 5 to 6 years, so, and they must be like 8 or something like that.
I'm like, wait, you saying 5, 6? You're like 8 or something.
It doesn't make sense. They were dancing out the womb.
Oh, jeez.
But man, they're super flexible.
Oh yeah.
For the most part, they were all together.
Yeah.
In terms of
Mostly.
cleanliness. Yeah, mostly. But they're kids, so
Yeah, it's bound to happen. But like,
one thing that's more of a general note that they reminded me of, is that I kind of want the whole trend of like the dance studio outfit.
oh
to
yeah,
kind of die.
That's true.
Like I get they're probably from a dance studio.
Oh yeah, they are.
And like they have to buy, outfits from like some catalog that has they all wear the same thing that's bright and flashy.
The sequencing and everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But when it comes to like a show, I feel like do something more them, more you guys.
That's true. Maybe later on they can just have something like, oh, we can set apart ourselves from everyone else.
And they don't necessarily have to wear individual outfits, but like something that isn't so dance studio.
Yeah, it's just very. Yeah, I couldn't put it any better. Yeah. You nailed it.
But anyway, that's just a personal thing for me.
Yeah.
I give him an 88. Surprise.
Man.
Coincidentally for Crazy 8.
I think I need to reevaluate my scores. I gave them a 94.
No, that's fine. They actually got a 93, so you agree with the judges at least. Going through my scores, I found that I didn't really give anyone over a 90 except for like one group that we'll get to later.
Okay.
Much later. But anyway, let's move on. So we'll see them in their duels.
Oh yeah.
Duels.
All right.
Jonathan E. Jorge.
Oh, there's the E again.
Yeah. Oh, the Y.
Yes.
One's from Orlando, the other's from Lima, Peru. And they do salsa cabaret.
I thought it was bachata. Did they?
Maybe that's what it is.
Okay.
I saw salsa cabaret, but maybe it's actually called bachata.
There's salsa in there.
And cabaret. Maybe that's I don't know. But anyway, they do what they do.
Yes.
One thing I'm really glad to see more of is the same sex pairing. Whether it's guy, girl, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really happy that two gay guys can just don't feel ashamed or scared to be on a world of dance show, a national TV show, and feel okay and feel proud that they can do whatever they want to do because. Man, they were good, and
they were really good.
Last season, I forget what their name was, but there was another contemporary couple.
Yeah,
or pairing. I'm not sure. I don't think they were a couple, but a pairing.
Yeah, they were a pairing, and they got far.
They got far. Yeah, and they were awesome.
Yeah, so much power.
Yeah, so props to you guys, faux show.
Mm-hmm.
But during their whole thing, they were watching like a montage set. Of like a couple. Oh, there goes Powerline.
He couldn't handle the power.
But yeah, they were watching TV backstage, and there was like a montage.
Yeah.
Group or a pair.
It was another pair.
Yeah, that didn't make it through. I guess
they didn't make it through.
Don't know who they were, and I guess it doesn't matter. So anyway, on to Jonathan E. Jorge.
Yeah.
I thought they were super fluid in their movements. Their transitions were on point. Like it didn't really even seem like transitions. It just seemed like they were continuously doing something and very fluid in that sense. The pot stirring made a comeback.
Oh, yeah.
It's back.
Pot stirring was back with a vengeance and a different couple.
Exactly. And then that assisted like swan dive like lift where he kind of like just jumped and then kind of turned in midair.
That was crazy.
That was freaking awesome.
Oh, my goodness.
But then one thing I didn't like was that during their whole set, and Jayla touched on that, their facials were like, just really happy to be there and having a great time. But then at the very end, like their final pose, they were all giving the stank face and like the
oh,
you know what I mean? So I was like, well, that doesn't make sense.
I guess I didn't catch that.
I don't know how to feel about this anymore.
Right.
Were you guys enjoying it? Was I not supposed to? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just a small thing, but I just picked up on that I just kind of didn't agree with. But anyway, Eser, what'd you think?
Yeah, these two guys are just giving it all, and like, wow, the lifts and the throws and the just all the acrobatics, it was very effortless, and just like how they were meshing together on that stage was just like, wow, I don't know who's gonna throw each other next, or who's just gonna
Yeah, you're right.
like who's throwing who, or like, you know, that sort of thing. It's just the unpredictability as well. It's like like who's light and who's like the soft one or something.
You're right.
But you know, they were very equal, like just doing what they do best on stage and just like displaying their craft and their art. Gosh, I still think about like doing stuff like that.
Do it. One thing I noticed with most duos is that, you know, there's always one who's a little bigger and stronger than the other for the lifts. But like for once, I want both of them to be like strong enough to lift each other at different points. You know what I mean?
Oh, I thought you were gonna say at the same time.
So that they just fly.
Just fly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Anyway.
It could happen.
Hey, it could happen. All right. Well, I give them an 87.
Gave them a 92.
Man, you give it these high numbers.
Hey, man, I like them.
That's fine. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm being tough on these acts this season. But anyway, they actually got a 88.7 on average, so I was closer to that.
Yeah.
So they'll be going through. There weren't too many that didn't make it through.
Yeah, this
Again.
episode, it wasn't too many.
Again. Let's move on. There's just so many, so we're trying to fly through these so we don't have a super long episode.
Right.
Julian and Charlize Angels.
Charlize Theron.
There you go. One's from Jersey, the other from LA.
Yep.
Let's see.
And these are teens.
Yeah, hip hop. Oh, this is the two people that were like have been in the industry for a bit.
Yeah, I was like,
done like videos.
I'm like, oh crap, these are 16, 17-year-old kids and already have a lot on their resume.
Yeah, they've done like Super Bowl music videos, stuff like that.
With Pharrell and Katy Perry.
Yeah, there you go.
It's like, goodness gracious.
Overall, I thought their chemistry was good. But I almost thought that for the most part, their set was focusing too much on the partner interaction. Like one person does something so that the other person reacts to it, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It wasn't so much, it didn't focus too much on, you know, the dancing with each other. It just focused on, look what I can do that makes the other person do this kind of thing. And I'm not a huge fan of it. Like I like it, but not when the whole set is that, at least. Other than that, I thought it was kind of a little repetitive towards the end for me because like the rhythms that they would hit or the movements they would do kind of followed the same pattern, you know, wave from one part to another part to the hit at the end of it, like da 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 ta ta, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I kept seeing that a lot, and I just, what'd you think?
Yes, they're a very strong duo. Like their movements were very like pronounced.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was a great quality of a performance for me, but at the same time, like I think just overall there were just parts or maybe just the overall movements of the things they didn't really match the song for me. Like it's kind of not what I would have pictured how they do it, but like, hey, it's a different take.
Yeah.
But I don't know, it just didn't sit with me. I was like, I was waiting for something like maybe a little more smoother kind of area, and then they can get back into what they're used to moving as.
Yeah, I agree.
So there are just some consistency issues with the routine on that kind of like level for me.
I can see that.
But yeah, I mean, they just got to watch spacing because like they are only two, but then there was just like some parts was like it wasn't reading well because like
the beginning part.
Yeah, like the beginning part, like they weren't close enough to like really realize like, oh, they're doing something together, but are they really together?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you're right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
I think it would have been fine if they were on a stage and the audience was further back.
That's true.
But they're right smack there in the middle, and judges are sitting super close, so you actually had to turn your head to do it. And Neo brought that up. But yeah, overall, just a little one note for me. I give him an 86. Like, it was good, but just good enough to get through.
Yeah, it was good enough to get through. I gave the same score.
Wow.
86.
We did it.
All right.
Finally.
Yes.
And they actually got an 87 on average, so we were right there.
I usually play a game with myself as like, am I going to match the judges' score?
Yeah, I do that too. Like, who am I going to agree with? In this case, we agreed with Derek.
Yeah, we did. Well done.
Wow.
Cell 5.
All right, moving on to the Heima.
Heima? Yeah.
Heimlich.
Maneuver?
Staying alive.
Staying alive.
Anyway.
But seriously, that's the song you should use when you're doing CPR.
Yeah. Yeah, I know that song. At first I was afraid I was petrified. Shout out to The Office.
All right.
And Michael Scott. Anyway, so this group is from South Korea, and their tag was that they are breaking fusion.
Yeah. Them Koreans, man.
Yeah. One thing right off the bat, like when I saw their masks, I was like, "Oh, those are cool."
Yeah.
It kind of looked origami.
It was really original of an idea for, well, other than, I mean, I don't want to compare it to Jabberwockies, but like their whole ensemble and outfits was just like, all right, this is eye-catching.
Yeah.
I'm ready to see what they got.
Yeah, and speaking of like origami, like I typed down, oh, their masks kind of look like origami, and then they started performing, and I was like, you know what? The way they move, the way that they dance, like the movements, and overall, like I guess maybe just the set, kind of look like origami, kind of like being refolded into each other and inside of other things. So I was like, I wonder if that's what they were going for, or if that's like their whole thing.
Like Kubo.
Yeah, and the two strings. But yeah, very much fusion, because I thought more fusion than breaking. Because there wasn't a whole lot of breaking actually in there, except for like the one guy doing his thing.
Yeah, his long solo, that was very impressive.
Yeah, very impressive. But I think what their whole take is, like their whole style is to be more artistic rather than, show you're athletic.
Yeah.
But it was good, especially that b-boy, that one b-boy who was, taking the control of that stage.
Yeah.
And what everyone else was doing was fine too, but I think overall it was a little simple. It was simple, but like the art of the whole thing kind of, made up for it at that point. So I did like it and I didn't like it at the same time, so I was a little conflicted there. How about you?
Yeah, again, with the gimmick of the mask was like definitely something, so it's just nice to stand out in that sort of way. But it's also good to know when you start seeing like the interviews prior to them performing, like you see, you remember when they were interviewing the one member that was dating that girl who had cancer.
Yeah.
And it was just like really nice to see the support of the crew. And like you can definitely tell like they all go through it if one of them are going through it.
Yeah.
So I'm really appreciative to see like crews actually being crews instead of like, oh, let's get together and jam, or let's just session.
Let's make some power team, you know what I mean?
Let's just make a super ensemble of a team, and then that's it. Nothing outside of it. So it's really nice to see that kind of a brotherhood.
Yeah. And we know a little bit about that, don't we?
Yeah. That's why I bring it up.
There you go.
Wherever else anybody is from our crew, we still love you.
Do we? We do.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, you're right.
But
we do.
my last notes were about the whole set. It was just like, man, I was like, I feel like I'm watching poetry in motion.
Yeah, exactly.
It was just that amazing. Like I had to stop typing on my computer for a little bit.
Just to watch, right?
Just to watch it. Just like take it all in and just like appreciate the art form that they're presenting at this moment. And I was just like, this is definitely not a Cirque du Soleil set, but it had the feel for it.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And like, again, I was conflicted with them because they were so much more artful than
actually B-boy.
Competitive and athletic, that, I eventually gave them, my score was an 85, like just good enough to make it through. Like I'd like to see them be more pronounced, I guess, next time. Try not to sacrifice the art.
That's
but
true.
Find a way to be more pronounced at that point.
Mm.
What'd you give them?
I gave them a 97.
Wow.
Yeah. I scored them high. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, they were good. They got a 93.7, so somewhere halfway between us. So they'll be going through. I hope they go far, actually.
Yeah, let's see if they change it up.
Cool. Let's move on. Flying through these teams.
Mm-hmm.
Minibots. Popping team, I guess. Popping group from Vancouver.
Popping group.
From Vancouver. One of them is a Poltergeist girl.
Yeah. That was a nice little slip in there.
Played the girl from Poltergeist, the remake, that is. Haven't seen it. Wouldn't know what, But anyway.
I haven't either. We should watch it together.
I think I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
So this set was kind of montaged. Like, it kind of just jumped right into the middle of their set.
I was like, what the heck?
I was a little disappointed because, like, their technique was pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was great. I like their outfits, too. They little people just looking fly and funky.
So good.
Definitely awesome. But at the same time, watching whatever the little that we did watch or did see that they did show, nothing super eye-catching.
No,
just,
there wasn't anything that stood out for me as well.
Other than that they pop, and it was cool.
Yeah, it was just really cool. They're studying it, they're training in it, so it was just nice.
So props to them.
It's like
pops to them.
And I hate when the editing just happens like that for the shows. Like, they just jump right in without any like sort of like cushion just to give them the appropriate like time to introduce them. It was just like, ugh, I hate this.
Yeah.
But I don't know, at the time, because their song was so familiar, and I just got very reminiscent with like when our friend Mike and his boogie boss were still on ABDC.
Yeah, and they were popping too.
They were popping too, and then this song was just one of their songs in their set. So I was like, and then I started putting 2 and 2 together. It was like Minibots, Boogie Bots.
Oh, I didn't even realize it. Yeah.
Mini Boogie Bots.
Biggie Minibots.
So I'm like, are these their children?
Well, they're Canadian children.
But anyways, maybe they were inspired to make that name from the Boogie Bots. I don't know whoever their director is, but like,
I'm assuming it's the next guy, Poppin John.
Oh.
Because like he was with them, I think.
He was like giving them tips and stuff. But
what score did you give him?
I gave Minibots an 84. They still
me too. Yeah.
They still needed work.
Yeah, I agree. Me too. They actually got an 83.3, so they won't be going through, unfortunately.
Next time, guys.
But yeah, speaking of the next guy, Poppin John, it looked like he was like their mentor, or maybe even their choreographer. Probably taught them everything they knew, as kind of seemed that way. Actually, I don't know, because he's from New Mexico, so I'm not sure.
I mean, they're from Canada and he's from New Mexico.
Maybe he was just helping them out with
probably
with their
just
technique.
Probably just prior to them getting on. That's just what it was. Because like he was even like stating before he got on his whole story, like, I was on YouTube since like 2005 and like one of the early pioneers of popping.
Pretty sure that's when YouTube came out.
Yeah, 2005, 2006. It's like, man, that was a phenomenon, man.
It was.
But it was, just a side note, YouTube was definitely like a breakthrough platform for dancers like back in the day then. It was just like, oh, we can just waste our time here now.
It's true. What'd you think of Poppin John, man?
He was good. He's very experienced. I mean, obviously, because like he's been around. He's our age and he's still doing his thing, Like I agree with his notes when he was saying like, I don't need to be that type of dancers that have to show off doing tricks. This is just me, and this is how I'm going to present myself, represent and present myself. Because like you honestly, I'll agree with that. Like you don't need to show off in that sort of light, like throwing in always tricks after tricks to get the styles artistry across. Sometimes you just need something simple. Yeah,
and that's what a lot of OGs do when it comes to street dance, or that I find them what they embrace more. Mm-hmm. Like when they do showcases and stuff, they do have their tricks. Yeah, but they rather showcase like the nuances of the style that they are so familiar with. Yeah, fluent in. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
But yeah,
giving him.
I was just gonna finish off like it was just a very nice solo performance and definitely on his musicality. Like there's no doubt like this man's just been on it since day one, since he was in this movement. Yeah, and it was really good to see him taking his time.
Yeah, exactly. Again, just really comfortable with what he's doing. You know, showing the technique that's involved with it, and it shows. I like the song. It was a cool remix. He's all about the technique, and it kind of looked like, I'm not sure if he choreographed that. It kind of looked like he was freestyling.
I think it was freestyle.
Yeah,
It definitely looked like it was just freestyle.
which was awesome.
Yeah, I was very appreciative of that.
But at the same time, remember that popper last year who kind of just freestyled most of the time.
Yeah.
It's not really competitive enough, especially if you're a solo act and you're not just popping, but like, you know, if you're a solo, it's hard to be competitive in freestyle against, you know, people who've been practicing the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean?
Just refining and refining. But hey, he's doing the same thing. He's refining his craft all the time too.
Yeah. And as much as I love him, but like taking everything into account, like what actually needs to go into the kind of thing, I give him an 82.
I gave him a 90.
We are so off, man. But he actually got halfway between us, 85.3.
Yeah.
So he'll be going through. So props to him. I hope he steps it up.
Yeah.
It was a pretty slow song.
It was.
So I hope he
I'm
steps it
definitely
up.
looking forward to what else he's got.
Me? 5. Then after him was a whole bunch of montage
Yeah.
groups that supposedly made it through that we probably won't see again, or that probably won't get too far. One of them being West Springfield Dance. They are
Oh man.
from our hometown, our area.
Yeah.
So like hometown heroes at that point. They're actually maybe like 10 minutes from right here.
Yeah. Let's go see them.
They can ask. You can ask them how far they went. How'd you guys do, by the way?
True. But yeah, I don't know. Like when they were just like zipping through several of these teams, it was just like a very generic, like 85, 85, 85. I was like, was it really?
Yeah.
Or was there like a decimal in there?
Seriously.
I don't know.
Because last season, a lot of groups got like 80
Yeah.
whatever, or 81 or 82.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, we're all the... Now they're skewing their scores to get people through still. But anyway, it was at this point that I realized, hey, where'd that host go? That's what I was watching. I was like, you know what? I haven't seen that guy since the beginning.
I totally forgot about him.
Yeah.
But at this point, I was just totally forgot about him. And then it wasn't until like the end of the show, I was like, where's the host?
That's the thing, Eser. There was never a host. All right, let's move on.
All right,
Let's get
so
through these
yeah,
last bunch.
the next actual group.
Yeah. Ellie and Ava. I really like them. They're a couple of sisters, contemporary.
Mm-hmm.
So it's nice seeing this female partner duo, contemporary, you know, just doing their thing together.
Yeah.
It was awesome. And I don't think we've seen a female duo on World of Dance so far,
I don't think so.
at least from last season, because
Yeah.
we didn't watch the first season. Oh boy. Before I found out they were sisters, I was like, man, they're like twins in the way that they move and even look. And then found out they were sisters. I was like, okay,
All right then.
here we go. Nothing. I didn't really have many notes about them, other than that they were good and technically all there in terms of their technique. It was great. They were definitely good. Do you have any notes?
It was very good storytelling. It was a solid
True.
piece that they presented. And they definitely also were taking their time just to let the story unfold on their terms, as well as like the build up and of just getting to that one moment. I can't describe it, but like there's definitely a moment in there like they just hit it on point, like this boom, and they hit it so well. I was just very like, yes, that's the passion and intensity I like seeing in performances like this, you know. And the end pose, yeah, well done. Just stuck it.
Yeah, not too many flaws, but you know, at the same time, as good as they did, I wasn't like very impressed. At least there wasn't anything that just made me go, man, they're gonna go super far. You know what I mean?
I felt the same way, but I was just again
Definitely good though.
I'm still waiting. Gonna see what else they got.
Yeah, maybe they're just holding back. So I give them an 88.
I give them a 96.
Oh, wow. They actually got a 92.
Yeah.
Well, we're not far off because Neo gave him a 95 and JL gave him an 89. So there were.
Those are the extremes.
Yeah. So I guess we could be on the panel. They actually got a 92.3. They'll be going through. So we'll see them again in the duels.
92Q.
Wow.
Oh, wait. I got stuff to say for this next one.
Okay. So the next performers.
Next duo.
D'Angelo brothers from Italy. They're tap.
Yeah.
One thing I will say before I let you go first is that their song was great. James Brown. Can't go wrong with James Brown.
Wow. I was very surprised too. But
go ahead, Eser.
Before I get into that, the thing I wanted to mention is just like I was very noticing the judges for this performance. They definitely had a wardrobe change.
Oh, yeah. So I noticed that too. I was like, oh, I guess they didn't shoot everyone all in one night.
Yeah, not in one night. Maybe this was like a late entry or something.
Well, like I'm assuming they broke up each thing.
That's true.
And like America's Got Talent does the same thing.
Oh.
So I was like, oh, finally. Anyway.
But yeah, I don't know. So it just got me questioning like, was it really in one night? But now I think they're just doing it in like multiple nights.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah. But I guess we'll just see that in the future qualifiers. Like they're going to be switching in and out of like outfits. But I guess that was a minor detail, but I was just like really, it just kind of threw me off. But anyways, like these brothers, very playful. And I was just like really happy to see like how much they were just in that music, like that soul,
yeah.
like giving that James Brown flavor,
Mm-hmm.
It was like, and you can definitely hear the tapping. I was very just good to know that they are accommodating to the dancers now. Like they can hear the taps. Like the stage was definitely not like that when they had other tappers in the last season. Like it was hard to hear. Like they had to like cut the music for some parts just to be able to hear that. So they added that little platform now. I don't know. I wasn't really thrilled about the ending. Like I felt like it was abrupt.
Like they gave him 5 and then it just stopped.
Yeah, that was it.
True.
But yeah. Yeah, the set could use a little more tricks, I guess.
Yeah, I thought so. The song, as much as I love the song, is a slow song.
Yeah,
especially for tap.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, they were getting into that music. Like their musicality is on point. And like one of the best things about tap is like they can make the music too.
Mm-hmm.
So like it went so well with the song. So their musicality was great. But like I was saying, it was maybe a little too slow for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so getting into that whole abruptness of the ending, since it was a little dry, just stopping all of a sudden, you kind of just, I don't know, it didn't really work out for me too. I gave them, like, and I know they can do better. Like,
I'm sure they can.
Like seeing their technique, I definitely know that they can do better. I give them an 85, like just enough to get through.
Gave them an 88.
Crazy 8s.
Crazy 8s.
They actually got an 87.3 on average.
Yep.
So they'll be going through.
See them again.
The D'Angelo brothers.
Yep.
And then, finally, last 2. We are flying through these.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I think it's because we don't have Justin here to a third person to give notes to. Anyway.
Yeah.
Next up, Lauren Yakima.
Yakima? Yakima.
Okay.
Lauren.
She's from Michigan and a contemporary dancer. And she was actually my favorite of the night. I think the only one I've given an over a 92. So she's contemporary. Like one things that I had a lot of positive notes for her. She had first of all, she had great control of her body.
Oh yeah.
Like almost total control.
Holy crap.
The song was awesome. Like I get that remix, whatever that's
yeah.
whatever it was. Her musicality is on point. especially when it comes to sticking her landing. She was hitting it
Oh,
right on beat.
Absolutely. Man.
And all that wrapped up and together, or she told a story that was great. It went along with the song went along right with that, and then wrapping that all up with the effortlessness that she shows when she does everything she does. So she was my favorite of the night. It was awesome.
Yeah, 'cause she kind of blew out everybody else that I watched for the night.
Yeah.
Like she was just a real fireball of energy, just and just so with her artistry, like everything, she just knew herself, like just to be able to be that confident and just execute that kind of set, especially with the music going on, is just like, man, she knows this. She knows it. So purposeful in movement as well as like going along with the music. I was just very thrown back, like how good of a girl this person was, you know? Just,
yeah.
Like, geez, I was really trying to find something to criticize about, but I think I was just so focused, like just looking at the overall picture of like what she was doing. It's like, man, I can't do that.
It's true. Neither can I. It was awesome, and like you said, she blew everyone else out of the water.
Oh yeah,
in this episode at least, because like if you go back to the first episode of last season, there were so many heavy hitters in that first episode.
It really was.
It was just packed full of them. So I'm like, where's everybody this season?
Is this the new Eva Igo?
Maybe. Yeah. Why not? Why not? So I gave her a 94.
Gave her a 98.
Yeah, I mean, I respect that.
Yeah.
J-Lo gave her a 94. Neo gave her a 97. So we're like right up in there.
Just up there.
So she had an average of 95.7. So definitely going through.
Another high one for the night.
Okay, so like look, compare that to the first performers.
Yeah.
The Kings.
Yeah, the Kings.
The Bollywood Fusion team. They got a 97.7. Compare that to her. Like,
yeah, now
come on.
Yeah, now thinking about it, is like she should have gotten a higher score.
Yeah, and like don't get me wrong, like the Kings definitely had more tricks.
Oh yeah, for
like,
sure.
Their tricks were great, but a better all-around performance I thought came from her. Let's move on to the final team of the night.
Yep.
Elektro Crew. I was excited to see them because there hasn't been a straight up hip hop team yet in this episode, and that's what they are. From Arizona. Couple of notes. They definitely had the energy of a hip hop group.
They did. Yeah.
Like it's there for sure. But movement and choreography in general was just a little mediocre. I wasn't as impressed, at least. And they did have a lot of tricks, but the one thing I didn't like about their tricks is that it just kept coming down the middle. Like whenever they set up tricks, it kept coming down the middle towards the judges. Like it was almost, you could anticipate the next thing that's going to happen because they set up for something coming down the middle. So if there's one thing that they need to change up, it's that, I think. But yeah, maybe make it a little bit more intricate as well. They are young though, so
they are.
But then there was the lab. I don't know. I guess it depends on who's choreographing.
Yeah, that too, and just like, everybody grows in a different pace. But
sure. What'd you think?
They lost my attention.
Yeah.
I was paying it. I was good at a part, but then at the same time I was just like, I hope they do more. And I just kept like turning my head to like from my computer screen to the television. I was just like, they're not doing anything really good right now, but that's just me. But they had the like again, they did have the energy.
They
did. They had some good groovy moments, but they're just something like I guess they could do more with. And then I don't know. I started paying attention to like there was like one part in their set they had one person on each side, and like they kind of got washed out. So I didn't think that blocking or formation should have happened. Like I think they could have done more with that. It definitely got washed out. So something had to be done. But it was just very average for me. Yeah. It was just barely making it for my taste.
I agree. Like good enough to make it through. Yeah, I agree. I give an 86.
I gave them an 84.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So you didn't even want to see them through? Well, not that you didn't want to.
Not
they
that
ended
I
up
didn't.
not being through on your list.
Yeah, pretty much.
Gotcha. They actually got an 86.3, so they will be going through.
They will.
I hope they improve.
Yeah,
at
me
that
too.
Point. So that does it for that.
Yep.
One thing I wanted to talk about real quick is the whole idea of being judged on choreography. We talked about this last season.
Yeah, we did.
And like when they're a team and they don't necessarily do their own choreography, it's kind of like you're judging them based on someone else's work at that point. I'm not sure if it's kind of a touchy subject for me. I don't know like if I completely agree with it.
I mean, at the same time, you can't help because they have that juniors division and the junior teams division.
Yeah.
So they got to learn from somebody.
That's fair. But like when it comes to like the upper teams,
Okay.
you know, and like they may get choreographed by someone else or something. Anyway, that's just what.
That's true.
That's all.
Yeah. That's another debate.
Something to keep in mind. At least.
It really is. So
cool. Anything else you want to say?
Shorter qualifier episodes. less episodes and shorter qualifier episodes.
Yeah, you know, I'm not entirely sure when the next one is. I hope it's.
I think did they actually say it's like on Sundays this season?
Is it? Was it only on Tuesday?
I think
just this
I
1
think
week?
this 1 week it was on Tuesday. I gotta check on that, but
We'll look it up.
I think I just like brushed over it like when I finished watching, and I was like, and now we're gonna have it on its regular night on Sundays. Like, wait, what was on Sundays?
Yeah, this was too long.
It was way too long.
Way too long.
And this wasn't with commercials. The one I watched at least.
So long. Well, I'm glad we're back, Eser.
Yeah, I'm glad too.
No, get out of here. That's right. That's right. Where can people find you, man?
They can find me on Instagram at ValCirca and on Facebook.
Cool. That's Eser Valencia.
Yep.
I'm Russ Santos, aka Lock and Robin. You can find me Instagram mostly at Lock and Robin. Well, I'm also on Twitter, but never use it. Find me on there if you want. Find me anywhere if you want, or don't find me at all, because a lot of people
everywhere.
But definitely keep coming back. We will be doing these weekly, well, at least every time there's a World of Dance. Thanks for stopping by, guys. You can find more stuff at dancefamtv on our website. We have YouTube, we have Instagram, we have Twitter, we have all that good stuff at DanceFamtv, #session, and find us on podcasts if you want to take us with you on the go. If it's easier that way too. So we'll see you guys next week. Peace out.
Later.